Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here with John Fitch for another mixed martial mindset. But if you saw the thumbnail, you can only imagine what this one's going to be about. And unfortunately, things are moving at a rapid pace. And we're going to be focusing on things outside of mixed martial arts. But the problem is, we're on YouTube. There's a lot of censorship, apparently. A lot of misinformation going on YouTube. You know, I'm glad that Joe Biden is telling us now what misinformation is as he ramble-dambles all over the place. So
any expert who would know everything about misinformation, it would be the smart, articulate Sleepy Joe.
I mean, listen, Joe, let's be honest. He graduated at the top of his class like he said he did. Oh, wait, that didn't happen. He had to say that he didn't actually graduate from the top of the class. He actually, oh, man, sorry, I have to get rid of all this stuff because otherwise I'm going to hear those beeping because I have all these raw clips of, you know, American gangsters like Cuomo acting like American gangsters and saying some pretty gangster shit. And they're literally, who do you think, like if you were like in a traditional like crime ring, you'd put Joe above Andrew Cuomo. But I mean, Joe's like the most obvious placeholder of all time. It feels weird.
He's a puppet.
I mean, a puppet. He can't.
He's more of a he's George W. Light.
I don't.
He's George W. Bush Light.
At least W be like
Bush Light.
At least W. Here's the big differences for me. All right, number one. There was still, I believe, still more of a real perceived threat of fear. Like people that are into this now, or they're all in like weird places, right? It varying, like 18 months later. 18 months after the war on terror, the only thing that the other people were thinking of were maybe we shouldn't bomb Iraq, the people that were thinking, right? They still were like Al-Qaeda, okay with a fear system of color-coded terror threats, all that kind of stuff, right?
PSA, all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, they were okay with that, and there's nothing okay with any of that. You know, I think that we understand that. But you had Cheney; he at least was telling you what he was going to do. You had Rumsfeld; they were all telling you what that. They were telling you the war plans, and when Bush would get up there, he could still read. He sounded like a boy idiot, but when they threw a shoe at him, he could move out of the way. Can you imagine if someone threw a shoe at Biden?
His head would split open.
He might.
He looks like a wet paper bag wrapped around toothpicks.
He doesn't look like he has, how do I say this, a strong physical grip these days. That's what I can say there. And I think that if someone, maybe even like a sandal, like, I think a croc would definitely do damage to Joe Biden.
Croc.
Yeah.
Croc could crimp him good, yeah.
A croc would get him. So, Bush is just a different, I mean, policy-wise, don't get me wrong, he backed up all that shit while he's saying he was going to get tough on the war on terror and Cheney and all that Johnny nonsense. But no. So Fitch, let's do some plugins first. Currently, we are on YouTube. I keep getting the damn boom, boom, boom. I gotta get those off there. I'm on YouTube now. We could be off at any time. Strike 3 could come at any time. Fully demonetized. Yep. You're there, but we're doing better where? Where are we doing better, John?
Doing better on Rockfin.
Yeah, doing better on Rockfin.
More viewership and make more money. Rockfin's better. I can say what I want to. Rockfin's so much better.
And so the second half of this program, when we actually get to say what we want, we're 28,000 plus strong on the road to 30, is going to be over on Rockfin. So go make the free account. You can now watch videos even without the free account. Tons of exclusives, uncensored over there, including last week's Mixed Martial Mindset, and so much more. You can find everything John Fitch. Where can they find it, John?
JohnFitch.net, but you can also, I'm very accessible on Twitter, JohnFitch.net. You got to spell the .dot. Putting a lot of stuff up there, a lot of content on there. And I'm offering, privates, small groups, and seminars. Link up, DM me. My DMs are open for that stuff. I've grabbed a number of people from my DMs and Twitter. Instagram is also open, but yeah, keep it simple, JohnFitch.net.
Absolutely, and the audio version of this is going to be on thegruelingtruth.com after the fact. So there's a lot to go over. I'm going to save the forced boop boop videos in other countries if you don't think it can happen here. This is a long thread of some very disturbing things that are happening in other countries.
Australia's lost, man. Australia is lost. You been watching that?
Yeah, well, at least some people are fighting back there in Europe. They're just not reporting on it. Like, again, they want to quelch all speech. They want it like Israel. We're going to play what basically he says it in a language that most of my audience won't understand, so we'll probably mute it. But I'm going to read everything under him. And this is what's coming here. I want to let everybody know that what this man says is coming here. We're still going to talk MMA, big card.
Yeah, that's a common theme that's been happening for at least 20 years is that they roll things out in Australia and Israel first. And once they have success there, it comes here.
It's coming here, I can promise you. And we're going to talk about Cuomo. We're going to talk about mandates. Pierce Morgan really should be treated like a war criminal in my eyes. A lot. We're going to talk about a lot. I mean, right now the VA is mandating all health workers across the country. New York City has now mandated all their workers to either do that or succumb to a test. In Israel, it is much worse. New York State, again, we're going to play Cuomo's quote. It's over the top. Let's do some MMA commentary quick. And by the way, 131 watching over on YouTube. Can we get 100 likes? Could we make it happen,
Good luck, guys?
Come on.
Hit the thumbs up.
And remember,
Let's
a
do
lot
it.
of the stuff we're playing on the Rock Fin side. So
hit the thumbs up and share it because that's really the only way that you make any kind of impact. It's the only way you can kind of give the middle finger to these tech Nazi communist overlords.
they're the good guys.
Share it to everybody you know.
They're stopping misinformation. They're knocking on your door, giving you real information. And if Cuomo has his way, he says not only are they going to knock on your door, but they'll provide a ride to a facility where they'll provide the boop boop for you right there on the spot.
Oh,
Wow. Well, there's some
Did
places
the Nazis provided rides?
they had
didn't
great transportation
They had
systems.
great transportation to facilities.
A lot.
Really great.
Really good. Top of the line at the time. And usually you'd have to show some paperwork right before.
Yeah, you have to show your papers. Yeah.
If you wanted to use your transportation system, which I'm sure a lot of those people, the Germans who had that, they liked their transportation systems a lot too, John. Yeah.
Germans.
Yeah, unbelievable. So Sandhagen Dillashaw. Dillashaw takes a split. I watched the entire card.
He got his head split open too.
Bad. But I'll tell you what.
He ate a nasty knee. Like I saw the highlights. He ate a really nasty knee, and that cut is blown open. People were asking me who I thought won, but I didn't watch the whole fight, so
Tough call.
I can't make a clear opinion.
Yeah, for me it was a tough call. I'm hesitant to say that Sandhagen clearly won the fight. Obviously, his face looked a lot better. But if you see so that jumping knee.
That's the damage argument I don't buy because some people cut and bleed really easy.
Exactly, and the thing is that on that knee, Dillashaw turned it around. He almost pulled a Fitch-esque, right? It was close to the cage. He grabbed him, put him up against the cage, dumped him, got on top, and dominated him for a good 90 seconds. Now, Sandhagen was trying to throw up some submissions, but wasn't having a lot of success. Dillashaw was having more success with the striking there. It was a close fight. I'm not gonna hate on those decisions. I understand Sandhagen's frustration, but that's why you got to finish fights, right? I get when you're trying to point out a guy, but when the rounds are that close, there aren't any knockdowns. You're not making the guy tap. You know how it goes, John.
Yep.
And it wasn't like he was holding Dillashaw on the ground. In fact, Dillashaw was usually getting more takedowns and holding him on the ground. Again, some of the stuff.
Judges are people too. Like I don't think that judges really have a unbiased opinion of a lot of things, and it probably makes more sense for them to push Dillashaw than Sandhagen. More people know who Dillashaw is.
I honestly think they might have wanted to push. It was a tough one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, it felt like they were hyping Sandhagen a little bit more. Sandhagen's good. He did a good job keeping him at length. But again, when there's those rounds where there isn't a lot of damage, when you're talking about Dillashaw's 3 takedowns and 15 strikes versus Sandhagen's 10 strikes that may look a little bit cleaner, but he still got the takedown. I mean, what do you do?
Yeah. And I mean, like, and there's no freaking. I've said it before. There's still no criteria. There's no criteria on how to score and win a round.
Mm-hmm.
There's no like any sport, any game, any board game you play at home with your kids. Like there is a very strict set of rules in criteria about how to score and how to win. And anybody can come off the street. Anybody who's never heard of the game, never played the game before, can read that and decide who wins because they see the criteria. That doesn't exist in MMA.
No.
You should be able to take somebody off the street who's never seen a fight before, ever. Read all the criteria, what it means to score, how you get points, how things work, and they should be able to decide on who won the fight. It shouldn't be this confusing for professional judges to score these fights.
Oh, again, a close one.
And again, it's on purpose. It's not an accident. When it's hard for the judges to call a fight, it favors the promoter.
Well, especially when it's a close one like that, and throughout fighting history, especially when it goes to the judges' scorecards, you're going to have, and I like differences of opinion. I do think there should be a criteria, but that's tough as well. UFC, Uriah Hall, Sean Strickland. This one's coming up. The reason I'm bringing it up, guys, all you guys that don't care about the mixed martial arts, Sean Strickland recently called out Sean O'Malley for getting a tattoo of 6ix9ine on his shoulder by 6ix9ine, and said, hey, man, you realize that this is a guy that is a convicted pedophile and child pornographer, and posted these videos of him banging 15-year-old girls on Instagram. And, that is an issue. Like, why does that guy get to be glorified, John?
It's a strange world where certain things are pushed out there and made okay. It is like, you have the people who have the whole scheme of trafficking, child trafficking, and maybe they push certain people for a reason. Maybe they, it's not an accident that certain people have their music played more often than others. It's not just because they're popular. A lot of people aren't popular until they're put on the big platforms anyways. Most people who are sheep, they're not out there really finding the best music. They're just like, oh, this was the popular song everybody's listening to. There was a video of some girl who's really popular now singing her song in front of a group of people for the first time, and nobody cared. It's the same song like 3 months later, but now it's put on the popular platforms. Now everybody loves her, right? If music's good, it's good, and you're going to get a reaction out of the group if it's good. It doesn't matter if you've ever heard of it before. I've been and seen bands and be like, oh man, I don't recognize this song. Like, this is a good song. Is it a cover or something? And then you research, oh wow, this is an original band singing original music. Oh wow, that's amazing. But like, there's so much of what's popular, pop culture isn't really popular because it's good. It's popular because it's pushed. It's pushed heavily. It's put in front. And when you get things pushed and put in front of people, they automatically give it authority.
So you're telling me it's safe and effective? Safe and effective? Yeah. Safe and effective. Yep. A lot of
people tell a lie enough, it becomes the truth.
I mean, I'm just saying. Listen, music sounds safe and effective to me. Pop culture, safe and effective. We're gonna get to listen. There's a story here.
The only WAP I care about are weights and protein.
Oh, look at you. We're gonna get to this story. I just want to read this just so everybody understands. We can't talk about this the way I want to talk about this.
Yep.
Here at YouTube. But in about probably 8-9 minutes, when we go full board over on...
We'll go to a freedom platform.
Yes, Rockfin, you'll be able to see this. Minnesota medical worker has both of her legs amputated after contracting COVID-19 just days after receiving her second vaccine dose. And
COVID
you can see
is so bad. It's such a terrible respiratory disease that it affected her legs.
Yeah, after that second vaccination. So that's obviously because of COVID, and I don't want to say anything else. I don't know why Joe Biden. I mean, Joe Biden said that you can't get it if you get the vaccine the other night in that town hall, where he also, by the way, let's see. I think I've got it here. Tell me I don't have that one up. Oh, come on. I should totally have the one up where he's. Let's see. I guess we'll go down to the actual thing, but this was a headline. I mean, we played the video, but the man can't talk. He can't speak. And at least the Daily Mail, they can sub.
And like they're feeding him, and who is the dummy interviewing him? But he says a bunch of mumbly stuff, and then the
It's
guy
Don
who's interviewing
Lemon.
him, instead of challenging him, he like, oh, so what you meant was, blah, 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 and filled in like what he was supposed to say, but he messed up.
It says the experts. I played the video, right? But he can't talk, and they just act like he can talk. And then later he said that he was going to mask up 12 and under. And he also said that basically he said if you get the shots, you can't get the virus. And then they have had to correct him, and they have this term called breakthrough cases or whatever. Well, we're going to get to the new mandates on the other side, and we're going to play some videos for you, again, that we can't play here. In fact, I forgot that we're going to play this video that we certainly cannot play. A lot of people were asking me, remember we played that video of the news anchor saying the convalescent plasma was you could no longer donate your convalescent plasma after taking the shots, and that it killed your natural antibodies? That was taken off of Instagram. Couldn't find that. That was out of my history. But we're gonna play this man too.
I had a fun post on Instagram deleted.
Let's talk about it.
Oh man! So like somebody complained about this post I had, and it was just a joke meme about my taste in women, right? And oh man, I don't know if I can show this, but it's a picture of two houses, right?
I see my taste in women. Yeah,
one's like a goth house, and one's like a pretty pink house, and then there's a garbage can in the front. And on the house, on the goth house, it says "My taste in women," and then it says on the like girly house says "Also my taste in women," and then on the garbage can in the front it says "Also my taste in women." Right?
So wait a minute, hold on. You're an equal opportunity employer. You're not a bigot. Yes. You're giving them all a shot.
I'm saying, like, I'm not discriminating. I'm like, I like all kinds of women, right? Like the goth girl, the girly girl, the trash girl. They're all fine. And then it was just, I had like 400 likes and like 30 or 40 comments of people saying, yep, me too. Yep. So same here. Just jokes, laughing. And then somebody complained and it got taken down for like, man, racial or hate speech.
Dude, I was talking about this earlier, but I watched the documentary on Woodstock 99. And they turned it into like a social justice warrior, like hate on my generation, like demonize everything, white culture thing. It was really hard to watch. It really upset me because it's one of my favorite experiences. Not everything's perfect, and there was a lot of things that I wish hadn't happened there that did happen there overall, but I had control over my own actions. And isn't that kind of the thing? Aren't you responsible for you?
Yep.
So there's one other fight
against community guidelines.
Community guidelines. That doesn't seem like you had
hate
pictures of houses.
Symbols.
Yeah, probably because you called some women trash. But I'm sure if they were like calling a man trash.
Yeah, but I was saying like I like them. I still like them.
Listen, again, you never know. I'll give it a shot unless I've got like crazy, this is going to be a horrific train wreck vibe. You give it a shot. And it's not like you're going to marry that person out of the gates, right? Let's see how you like hanging out with them. You never know. Peanut butter jelly time. So Patricio Pitbull is finally fighting AJ McKee. AJ McKee, 17-0. Patricio Pitbull, one of the baddest mother truckers
out there.
This is
like one of the most exciting fights coming up that's been around for a while, quite honestly. UFC, anything.
Now, and is this it's got to be Friday, not Saturday, right? No, it's Saturday. They're going head to head with the UFC. Oh, these bastards. So this is going to be at the same time as the UFC card. I'm going to have them side by side. I'm going to set it up.
Dual monitors.
Yeah, dual monitors. Maybe if I have Militich over, we should do like a three-way bullshit talk while we watch it. All right, you know what? I wanted to talk about that, and I want to talk about things I can't talk about on YouTube. So YouTube, I'm sorry, it's all over. I wish
get on Rockfin, people. Get on Rockfin.
Yeah, I wish I could tell the truth. on your platform, but you're apparently against that. So rockfin.com/Jason Burma. So the rest of this is going to be. I do love you, YouTube. Still thumbs it up, subscribe, and share. Let people know